really an honor to be here speaking to all of you today, and congratulations to the class of 2023. Congratulations to all of you for reaching this exciting milestone in your life and your career. You all undoubtedly have worked hard to get to this point, and you and your families must be so very proud. You are about to embark on an amazing journey. I can think of no other profession that has so much purpose, honor, duty, respect, and compassion. Although it's been over 30 years since I started medical school, I am still in awe of what I get to do every day. I get to touch people's lives in a way that nobody else other than a physician or a physician scientist can do. I get to touch their brains and stimulate their brains, literally, to pique my curiosity in the research lab, and to talk to and teach young people such as yourselves. I sometimes wake up each day and think that it's actually amazing that I get paid to do what I do. And that is what I wish for all of you, that you find a career and a profession that you truly love and that will continue to be a passion for you 30 years from now. When preparing this talk, it was suggested to me that I tell you a little bit about my own journey. Well, my parents immigrated to the United States as graduate students in the 1960s to a small college called Wittenberg University in Springfield, Ohio. When I was a young child, I began to realize that nobody else in Springfield, Ohio looked like me. I think we were the only Asian American family in that town 50 years ago. So everyone stared at us when we were at the park or at the local Kmart. I kind of felt like I was from another planet. But I remember that whenever the other kids would make fun of my name or slant their eyes or ask me if I knew Kung Fu, which I didn't, my mom used to always tell me that I was special. And that I was put in this strange new world to make things better. Because I believed everything that my mom told me at the time, I really took that to heart. And to this day, even when I'm in a room full of white male neurosurgeons, I think that I'm 6 feet tall, even though I'm only 5'2". And I tell myself that I belong here. I belong here to make things better. So in case any of you, during any time during your medical training, should ever feel that you're different from your peers, or that you somehow don't belong, please remember that each and every one of you were chosen to be here in these seats because you have a gift, and you are now being given the privilege to make things better as our future doctors to be. Please take advantage of that. When I entered the field of neurosurgery almost 30 years ago, there were only 20 board-certified women neurosurgeons in the country. Not very many. And to this day, it's still a very male-dominated field. So I've often been asked if I've ever felt discriminated against. And honestly, my answer to that question is no. It's not that people haven't done things to me that could be construed as being unfair or discriminatory. On the contrary, I've often gone home crying, even recently, and can fill books with all the stories that I could tell. But in the words of Eleanor Roosevelt, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. You oftentimes cannot control what people say or do, whether it be your patients, your colleagues, your attendings. But what you can control is your response to what happens around you. And your response should always be to be the better person and to do the right thing. I think that medicine has a higher calling. It is a profession that can give you enormous purpose beyond yourself. But in order to gain that purpose and mastery of your field, it is important to be introspective and embrace the opportunities of lifelong learning and improvement. That's actually why I've been to school so much. To give you a personal example, when I was a junior resident, one of my attendings told me that women should not do neurosurgery because we simply lacked the three-dimensional visual spatial skills for such a highly technical field. After crying about this for a while, I realized that I really could not change his views or opinions unless I could prove him wrong. However, the fact of the matter was that I really wasn't that skilled surgically at that point in my career. And when I looked towards some of my senior residents, one of whom somehow was able to tie knots forwards and backwards with one hand, and dissect out blood vessels in the brain with incredible finesse and ease, I could tell it just took me longer. You know, I had to try harder. So I asked him for help to teach me how he ties knots, how he held instruments and dissected out the sylvian fissure. And I scrubbed in on every brain tumor and aneurysm case I could, even when I wasn't on call. And by the end of my residency, after hundreds of hours of extra hard work and practice, I think I eventually was able to get that attending to change his mind about women in neurosurgery. And I became the first female faculty member in my department. And for that co-resident who helped me to develop the skills and confidence to be a better brain surgeon, he eventually became my husband. And we've been happily married for 22 years. Finally, the last anecdote that I wanted to share is just to remind you all to please be kind. A few years ago, I happened to be walking in the hallway in the operating room in my nondescript scrubs, and a visiting medical student that I had not met before happened to spill a pan of water on the floor. He then came up to me and demanded that I clean it up. I think he thought that I was one of the scrub nurses, but he did seem incredibly rude and impolite. Nevertheless, it was true that the puddle needed to be cleaned up or someone could slip and fall. So I went ahead and cleaned it up while the medical student walked away. Later on, several months later, I met that student again when he was interviewing for residency slots. And he was so embarrassed, he turned so red that he couldn't carry on the conversation. So the moral of this story is that you should always be kind to everybody, regardless of who you think they may be. So my message to all of you today, as you may have noticed, follows the framework of the David Geffen School of Medicine's Cultural North Star that Dean Kelsey Martin introduced to you earlier this week. So as you embark on this phenomenal new journey into the house of medicine, please be guided by these three pillars. First, make things better. Try to make a positive impact in all that you do. You are the future of our profession. And when you take the Hippocratic Oath, it is incumbent upon you to always strive to make the lives of those around you better. Second, do what's right. Be introspective and master your craft. The more knowledgeable and skilled you are at what you do, the better you can help others. Take this opportunity in medical school to be curious, to ask for help, and to learn everything that you can to be a great doctor. Because when I get old and need you, please, I hope you are. And always, always be kind. Congratulations again on this wonderful rite of passage as you get your white coats today. I hope that you all will do amazing things here at UCLA in the years to come. And I am confident that you can all do exceptionally well if you remember to do good. Thank you.